Guys, I am pretty much finished with Cayenne. Replaced the fluids in rear and front differential, in the transfer case, in the process of removal of the clear bra from the bumper. The fenders, the hood bra is removed. I removed the bra from the left mirror and still need to do the right mirror and the door, door edges. Other than that, that's it. It's ready to go. So because of that, I got myself new troubles. Wait for it. All right. So there we go, Audi A4, or is it like a silver chrome mirrors, different wheels. Interesting. Dun, it's S4 with a 3-liter supercharged engine. At least it was like that. Have no clue, but what I know for sure, this is the Hurricane Ida, or Ida, whatever you want to call it, car. I bought it in Pennsylvania and it was delivered 1 a.m. this morning or this night. Looking in the front, the headlights are wet inside, so the at least front part of the vehicle was flooded. When I got it off the trailer, I didn't smell any mold smell inside the cabin. The cluster is clear, I mean from inside. Of course outside it could be all washed up, but inside there are no any kind of evidence of high flood. The rear door is closed. There is no rust on the seat tracks, so I assume, just an assumption, that this car was submerged kind of at an angle, mostly the engine compartment. And the bad part for that is this is pretty expensive engine, in case I'm gonna need to replace it. It's about 3-4 grand for a 3-liter supercharged engine. So if it's gonna come to the engine replacement, I'm not sure if I'll pull the trigger unless I'll find the donor, which may change the game. But let's not jump into the conclusions. It took me a while to push pretty much the car here, or pull the car here on the driveway. Now we can do like a quick walk around. So like I told you, there is the moisture inside the headlights. This pornography, I'm not sure why you would do that, like kind of cold air intake crap, I don't know. If the engine is alive, probably eventually I'm gonna convert it back to normal intake. Unfortunately, I do not see. Hold a second. No, I do see. How about take a look, guys? That looks like the oil. I'm gonna bring the rag to clean it, and we'll check it one more time again. Let's see if I'm not sure if you can remove it just like that. Looks like you can. Nothing interesting. Okay, this is the looks like this is the compressor, the supercharger, right in here. The belt for it, deserves better. What else can we see? Nothing interesting in here. Anyway, I'm gonna check the oil level once again. I'm probably gonna remove the spark plugs before I even attempt to crank it, just to make sure I won't do additional damage in case there is the water inside the cylinders. In overall, this looks to me somewhat reminding the engine from 957 Cayenne, and just based on a look, this one looks to me like a auxiliary vacuum pump that we replaced on Cayenne, that was located in the back actually of the cylinder head, the passenger side cylinder head, right in the back. On this engine it's on the driver side front, and this, if the analogy is still the same, could be the high pressure fuel pump, which was located on the opposite side, right here on the driver's side, and the Cayenne in the back. So this could be the case. I never had a car with a supercharger before. I kind of heard that the oil needs to be replaced as well in a supercharger, like separately. I'm not sure if it's true or not, or maybe it's true for some cars and not true for another models, but I'm gonna look into it. The interior doesn't show any signs of the flood, as well as the trunk. The car has flaws, like a scratched bumper in the back, which is a shame. It's like a S4 bumper, which is slightly different than regular A4. I just noticed this, like a slight dent on the lid, very tiny scratch in here, and missing plastic grill, which was also shown, which was missing on the pictures in the action as well. So that's not the action's fault. I noticed someone did a horrible job and painted this grill, because you see it's kind of peeling off. It's a shame. I don't like the blacked out headlights, tail lights, or the grills. Looks like, for me, the factory S4 kind of silverish or titanium color grill is much better than the painted. Thanks God they didn't touch the mirrors. Those are like S4 mirrors. But yeah, interior is pretty much immaculate. There is Alcantara inserts in the seats. Maybe needs some cleaning for the driver's seat, but the rest is fairly clean. I didn't check the electronics. Looks like the multimedia is working. I see the map on the screen, the radio plays, and all this stuff. The instrument cluster works. However, for some reason on the cop-art pictures for some reason on the cop-art pictures the cluster was pretty much blank, so I didn't know if the electronics was fried. And there is no battery here in the front, right? So I don't know if they didn't know how to jump start this car, because typically in my previous generations Audis, the battery was located right in this area in the center. So I don't know, maybe they moved the battery for Audi B8 chassis in the back to the trunk. Maybe it's just the S4 thing, I don't know. Coolant normal. What's that? Hydraulic fluid normal. There is a seepage from the vacuum pump. Same thing happened on Touareg, so most likely either the gaskets or the whole pump needs to be replaced here. The rest, nothing looking like a milkshakey thanks God. And let's check the dipstick. All right, let's clean it first. And it's hard to tell, but looks like it's all the way up to the max right here. You see the minimum is covered with the oil, the word max is clean. That gives me hope that there is no water in the oil pan, but we're gonna remove the spark plugs anyway. Looks like someone already removed the bolts for this spark plug rail. I just unclipped this wiring loom. Let me check. I don't see any bolts holding the how it calls, the coil packs or coils actually in place. Looks like it's just like that. Interesting. What's the deal here? Do we need to move this coolant tank? Looks like there is no way to remove it. Alright. Don't forget to remind me that we need to connect this hose later on. Okay, hopefully that's gonna give us enough room. Yep. Alright, test here. There is no oil in the spark plug valve. Actually, just a hair. Nothing to be concerned about at that moment. Okay, let's check another one. Again, just a sip of oil, so eventually it needs to be addressed, but definitely not now. This one got slightly more, but nothing criminal. I saw in my life much worse. Now let's get to the spark plugs. Let's see. Probably is gonna be the most deepest. There is definitely no water inside, but let's move on and do the next one. Also dry, slight oil signs, so yeah, eventually those seals needs to be replaced. This one got the water inside. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed no one was driving this car through the puddle. Now I'm gonna go to the second side. Let's see if it's easy enough to get this pornography off from here. Water in here. Water in here. Hard to say for the last one. 50-50. I would like, or actually I would love to crank the crankshaft with the wrench, but there is freaking no space for me to get the wrench onto the center bolt. So looks like we'll need to actually use the starter to crank it, but at least right now, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna spray some penetrating oil inside every cylinder, just in case. Okay, I'm gonna spray the liquid wrench just slightly in case there is the rust built up in the cylinder, so to minimize the risk hurting the cylinder walls, in case this engine can be saved. You guys are ready? So let's remove all the loose parts. By the way, the battery maybe actually is totally dead, so I'm not sure if my booster slightly, you know, give some juice to the battery, but we need to where's the key? Let's actually, you know what, I'm gonna put a camera here so you see the fountain. What's the best way? Most likely, in case the engine turns, if it's not locked up completely, or the rods are not bent or whatever. Let's see if you'll see the fountain. No fountain. That means that the battery either is totally bone empty, or you know, the engine may be catastrophically damaged. I'll try to remove this kind of cross member. I don't know if it's possible to do it like without any much further disassembling. Who knows, maybe we'll be able to remove the fans that are on the way right now, that are on the way to this, you know, center bolt or not. Few hours later, I disassembled the front end, slightly disassembled the front end, the bumper, headlights for you know, to dry them out. I moved the radiators slightly to the front, so I can have an access to remove the radiator fans, and now I have the access to the crank pulley. Unfortunately, it doesn't have like a big nut or bolt, you know, so I can use it to, you know, rock it back and forth, but it has, you know, those like a holes around. And if you guys been following my channel long enough, I made this tool to do some work on a pulley for Mercedes, I guess CLK 500 with 113 engine, if I'm not mistaken. So actually it fit to those, you know, holes. So I was able to, first of all, I put quite a lot of the WD-40 and you know, penetrating fluid like liquid wrench into all of the cylinders. That thing was totally stuck at the, you know, in the beginning. Right now it slightly goes back and forth. So right now I'll try to, you know, use the starter, and let's see if it's gonna be able to do something. Bear with me. it didn't do it. However, it slightly spun the crank, which, you know, little by little, maybe, who knows, we'll be able to, you know, move it around, assuming there are no actually broken rods, and that's actually what's causing, you know, this issue. Like, you know, remember, like on Mercedes, because I don't like one spot right here. Okay, let me use the starter again. Did you see it, guys? That's what we've been waiting for so long. Let me try to do it again. It's difficult for it, but I guess I can use some more WD-40. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spray some more WD-40 and I'm gonna leave it for a while to soak. It may be a success, actually.